God can absolutely deliver miracles, but maybe, just maybe, those miracles are more subtle than we give them credit for. Divine intervention, Christianity's golden calf of the 21st century, and a common theme that runs through addiction and recovery. From Sunday sermons to late-night social media threads, believers seem enamored with tales of miraculous deliverance. Lose your job, diagnosed with an illness, stuck in a cycle of addiction? Insert the correct number of prayers and just wait for the fixes to come. I hate to break it to you, but the universe does not run on your convenience, or mine. In many circles, miraculous deliverance has become a status symbol. You had a heavenly bailout? Man, you must be really tight with the big guy upstairs. This glamorization often manifests as a form of gatekeeping, putting those with less spectacular testimonies up there in the spiritual nosebleeds. So let's get something straight. Spiritual experiences are among the hardest phenomena to decode. Using them as casual conversation starters or teaching points is not just presumptuous, but it's a reckless gamble. Consider this. What happens when your miracle story becomes another's blueprint for success? I fell headfirst into this trap early on in my own battle with addiction, clinging to others' miracle stories like a lifeline, only to find myself drowning in disappointment. I've seen too many addicts internalize a testimony, then plunge into despair when their journey detours through darker valleys. The sharing of miraculous stories should be done with great discernment, a virtue we often forsake in our eagerness to testify. Let's exercise responsibility in how we share these stories. The focus should be less on the miraculous spectacle and more on the ongoing, humble walk with God. Your miracle should be neither a badge of honor nor a sales pitch for Christianity, but a piece in the intricate puzzle of your spiritual walk. Many of you know my own struggles with addiction, so I've seen and played a part in an approach that's nothing short of delusional. Engage in destructive behaviors, then cry out for divine mercy. The inconvenient reality is that asking God to nullify the consequences of our actions creates an unsustainable spiritual life. It fosters a spiritual immaturity, glossing over the very challenges that could catalyze personal and spiritual growth. This immaturity is what feeds into an irresponsible lifestyle, perpetuating the vicious cycle. Begging for a cosmic pardon on your actions sets you up for a juvenile faith, cultivating a spiritual life that's reactionary, always playing defense, treating symptoms without ever addressing the underlying disease. That does not sound like enlightenment. Just to clarify, this isn't some exclusive problem plaguing addicts. It's symptomatic of a deeper malaise afflicting society at large. Let's get one thing straight. God is not running a charity for the consequences of our poor decisions. I was constantly writing checks that I expected God to cash. The bill always came due when I least expected it. It became clear to me that praying for a quick fix was not the answer. In fact, focusing on quick fix prayers was holding me back. I was aiming for nothing, and that's exactly what I got. What really mattered was asking for the fortitude, the courage to face life as it is, no filters attached. That was the spiritual turning point for me. What we need is a return to basics, a faith rooted in the grittier aspects of human existence. Whether you're praying for strength to overcome addiction or the wisdom to handle a daily nuisance, that is where the essence of mature faith resides. Strength and wisdom are not just buzzwords, they are the currency of a mature faith. Strength isn't merely the ability to endure, but the fortitude to engage with life's complexities. Strength gives you the durability not just to survive your challenges, but to dissect them, learn from them, and grow through them. Wisdom isn't just the avoidance of foolishness, it's the application of divine insight into the daily grind. Wisdom equips you with a discerning lens, allowing you to make choices that align not just with immediate desires, but with long-term spiritual health. Think of wisdom as your internal GPS, saving you from the pitfalls that clemency-seeking attitudes often overlook. There is a symbiotic relationship between strength and wisdom. Strength feeds wisdom, and wisdom begets strength. When you pray for these attributes, the benefits become evident, making you spiritually richer and more adept at navigating life. Aiming for strength and wisdom creates a faith that's not just sustainable, but transformative. Regular self-audits can go a long way. Make it a habit to reflect on your decisions and their consequences, both good and bad. This facilitates a shift from reactive spirituality to proactive faithfulness. Dive deep into Scripture, not just to find convenient quotes that support your current lifestyle, but to challenge and refine your understanding of God's plan for you. Redirect the prayer focus. Instead of begging for clemency, ask for strength and wisdom to navigate the rocky terrain you've entered. There's nothing like service to others to drive home the message that our actions have repercussions. It's the crucible where theory gets tested and character is formed. One of the first things you learn in substance abuse recovery is that serving others is not just a suggestion, it's a necessity. We need people, partnerships, team up with individuals, be it mentor, friends, family, people who will hold you accountable. A healthy dose of human reality supplements divine guidance. We were not meant to sit alone in a cave and live out our days in prayer. Bodies, minds, and spirits wither. We need people. So let's cease this naive expectation that God serves as our cosmic undo button. A mature relationship with the Almighty is far richer and, believe it or not, way more rewarding. You'll still reap what you sow, just make sure you're sowing something worth reaping. Galatians 6:7 should act as a spiritual wake-up call, or if you're like me, it's a slap in the face. But it's also a deeply comforting verse for me and a reminder of God's omnipotence. So the upshot is you've got two choices: remain a spiritual toddler, forever asking God to pick up your mess, or graduate to a faith that thrives on more substantial aspects of divine interaction. Divine intervention is part of the Christian experience, but it should never eclipse the beautiful, messy, and profoundly ordinary aspects of just walking with God. For me personally, spiritual experiences are not just pivotal moments in my life, they're my sanctuary, the inner chamber of my spiritual life. They're not trading cards to be swapped casually. I believe that some experiences are a private dialogue between myself and the Lord and not up for public consumption. In the past, I've shared these moments perhaps too freely and felt the experience lose its luster immediately. There are spiritual milestones in my journey, and those experiences serve as an unshakable bedrock for my beliefs, but they'll never see the light of day. And the irony, most people wouldn't believe them anyway, and that is what makes them so incredibly potent. In the grand scheme of things, God can absolutely deliver miracles, but maybe, just maybe, those miracles are more subtle than we give them credit for. Perhaps the real miracle is the newfound strength to face adversity, the wisdom to make better decisions moving forward, and the courage to acknowledge that our choices come with a price. So the next time you feel compelled to share your spectacular experience, take a moment, reflect, then ask yourself, is this narrative feeding egos and unrealistic expectations, or is it genuinely fostering a deep, authentic relationship with God?